Jam on toast!
Hey there, welcome to the Jam. I'm Cameron. Right today, the toast is to Emma Approved. This is the second independent web series by the same people who brought us Lizzie Bennet Diaries, Pemberly Digital. So if you liked the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which was a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice, you will probably like Emma Approved, which is a modern retelling of Jane Austen's Emma. Very straightforward, I know. Part of the modernization is that Emma is running a matchmaking company. The ever-awful character of Emma gets to play with people's lives like she do. My love for this one is how Harriet and Knightley are representations of, I want to say purity, but maybe just like general goodness, ethics, throughout the show. And they're constantly rebutting Emma's horrible tactics in life on how to manipulate and play with people and even help her to try to get away from it at times. It's very much what a character Emma needs to be redeemable. Which brings me to my hate it is Emma at the beginning. Now don't fault me on this, I'm not getting upset with anything. Jane Austen wrote Emma as a character to be someone that only she could love, I think is how the quote was. But the point is, you're supposed to hate Emma. She's a fucking awful monster for probably the first half of the series. Spoilers. That's why the MVP is Joanna Sotomayor. She does such an amazing job of emoting that character, and she's such a sweet person. Any interviews I saw, definitely can't. I was like, well, that's not the monster I watch. And I got to meet her at VidCon last year, and totally sweet. I still feel bad that I didn't know how to get her like food, because she had talked about being starved. Maybe next year, Joanna. But she did such a great job, and the scenes where she starts to break down are truly amazing and moving. But it's so impressive to see someone go from being a horrible person to being such a drastically broken person to being kind of upbeat and positive and actually a good person when it comes down to it. Though I kind of wish they had rewrote it a little bit so she didn't need Knightley. But I think in the sense of it being Jane Austen and a heartwarming story, it was fitting. But I'm getting carried away. Let's go to the categories.
Aesthetics.
This has the same kind of problems that Lizzie Bennet Diaries did, though they were hamming it up a little bit, maybe too much, because you got the crappy single camera setup for any room that they're in. So the camera never moves. There's very little adjusting of it, but we do get more cameras as the series progresses, and we get into the other offices, so we get to see more characters, we get to see more sets. But they really know how to put together their sets. I gotta hand it to them. So while some of the edits and everything are a little bit annoying when you're watching something thinking it's going to be a proper production, I'm not surprised to see these jump cuts, because that's what you would do in real life. But they do them really well. They do them like someone who really knows vlogging and whatnot, and not someone who's just decided to start documenting their greatness for when they win the award for lifetime achievements and blah 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 blah. Aesthetics gets an 88.
Character development.
Almost the entire thing is character development in one way or the other. Every scene, every episode is definitely about some facet of building a character, whether you're building up the monster that is Emma so that the audience can see it, you're building Knightley into the picture to be the White Knight, we're building Harriet into the picture to be the naive sweetness that she is. There's so many things going on there at any given point that it stacks on top of each other, and character development is easily for any two characters at any one time. It's really an amazing job, and I'm just thoroughly impressed over and over every time I think about it with Joanna's portrayal of Emma. Character development gets a 97.5.
Storyline.
Big shock, I'm not necessarily a big Jane Austen fan. I know, right? But for big heavy books and names, she's someone I recognize. I get the idea. I've probably heard the story a couple dozen times in my life. I've probably watched some remakes of Emma one way or the other. This is fantastic, but the story itself doesn't grab me. you start with this horrible person, which kind of makes it hard to watch until you really get across. Because I had to research why she's such a horrible person, and I finally got it. And then I stuck with it. I stomached through, which you never want to say about anything you like. And then I started seeing the redeeming qualities in the show. So it's a hard story to make accessible to people, but it's part of the design. So my problem is not necessarily with the delivery, which was excellent, but with the original design, which was Jane Austen's Emma. Storyline gets an 80.
Compulsion.
Original story aside, fantastic. Would watch again. Will watch. It's on YouTube. They have a playlist over on Emma Approved and Pemberly Digital to have you watch the whole thing from start to finish. It'll take a minute to get through, especially if you're watching the ads in their entirety and not clicking away, because they're worth your time to give them a couple cents per ad. Compulsion gets a 95. Now, if you total all that up, you get an average of 90.125. For my rep review, I'm going to say thank you, Pemberly Digital. Thank you, Joanna Sotomaro, especially for such a wonderful performance. I can't wait till I get a chance to meet you again, shake your hand. I really hope to see you in something else soon, along with everyone else in this cast. This cast was amazing. I really liked it, and they were really sweet too. I know I keep saying stupid things like that, but it was really nice to get to meet them. And I don't know, I'm getting all teary-eyed just thinking about it. So before my brain can stop trying to process that, have a nice day. I am Cameron.
If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels.